Hi guys, I wanted to talk today about how I make tracks and my recommendations for how to develop your skill. Usually when I approach making a track, I will go about it in steps. First step will be to build the hook, which for me usually means a melody or a rhythmic sound or something to serve as the main focus point of the track, which usually happens towards the middle. That's the first step for me. So after I'm done writing a cool melody or a cool drum sequence or rhythmic percussion, whatever, I will build the second step, the bass line that goes with it. Usually I would do the kick as well, like I would add the kick and bass. So kick and bass, because these two are the basis for all of my tracks. So melody and then kick and bass, how it should sound like. That's step number 2. And then step number 3, I will build a rhythm loop, hi-hats, closed hats, snares, whatever is going to be in the main section of the track is going to be there. This is a track that I'm working on now. So this one sounds a little bit like this. That's what I would call a loop. It contains everything that I want in the track. Then step number 4 is doing the breakdown and the drop, which is I've already done here. So you're building up what it's going to be like in the breakdown, what's it building towards, and how the main drop is going to sound like. And after you're done with that, step number 5 will be to do the basic arrangement. I would do a mix-in without any melodic stuff, and then I will do 16 bars of introduction to the piece with harmonies and melodies and whatever. Then I will do the build up to the breakdown, then a breakdown, drop, and then I will start doing the outro to mix out. And that's a very basic rudimentary arrangement. I might change it, play with it a little bit, doesn't have to be fixed. After I'm done with that, then we have the layout of the track and you can hear what's it going to be like. Maybe you want to change it, maybe you want to switch it around a little bit, see what works best for you. Then as the next step, I will work on all the transitions in the track, like dropping a kick or muting some of the bass somewhere and stuff like that. Small transitions when you introduce stuff in and remove stuff to let the listener know this is going to come in. Now I'm going to change something. In the major events, like when you're going into the breakdown or when you're in the drop, you will have a big transition, to let everybody know this is going to happen or not, or you can surprise them, like whatever your intent is. So I will do that. And then as the final step, I will do the mix and the master. Usually they will intertwine. Mixing is I make sure that all the sounds are there, all the sounds are necessary. If I have sound that is unnecessary, I will remove it, maybe there, maybe we'll go back to the arrangement and put it in a different place in the arrangement. I will try and push the master as loud as I can and then back off. When you try and push a master really, really loud, you will find that something sticks out. So sometimes your bass will be overpowering when you go above -7 LUFS, then you will find that some elements prevent you from going above without distorting the signal too much. So maybe I will deal with them. I will change them a little bit. And then I will try and reach the highest point that I find is still okay. Like sometimes I will even go to -4 or 5, like something crazy that I will never do in a final track. And then I will back off because then I will know that the balance of the track is good. When you have a mix that is able to reach higher loudness level, then you know that when you will play it in a loud sound system, it will still sound okay even if it gets pushed, right? Because sometimes people will play your tracks in the red or they will push them through the speakers with some distortion, so you know that it's going to sound okay because you pushed it yourself and you know that it'll sound okay. Then I back off, and that's basically it. Those are my steps. Step 1 is the melody or hook or whatever. Second step is the bass and sometimes the kick with the bass. Then you have the loop. You're making the loop with everything. Then breakdown and drop. Then you have the full arrangement, and then you will have all the transitions and effects and little things like reversed crashes and stuff like that. And then you mix, and then you master. Now the mix and master are in intertwined for me. I always go back and try and change the kick, for example, a little bit, or the bass to fit the entirety of the sound, because when you're done with the track, you will find that sometimes changing it a little bit might help your track. Let's go over it in this track. It will, of course, not go out like this, but I imagine it will be pretty similar. So step one was building a melody or something interesting, which was this sound right here. That was the initial thought. So I had that going on, and that I thought, ooh, that's cool. That's a nice something. And then I did the bass for it, which was this one. I tried to have it in a loop with everything, but it didn't fit, but I still liked it. So what I did, that's a pretty special case. I made it so that it's just in the breakdown, and the rhythm that accompanies this is unrelated to the rhythm that comes after. So we have two sections. So it's a little something like this. So we have a beat going on here, so that you might call that a loop. Then I started building the drop, like adding the kicks and all the rest of the basses. And then I came to a realization that it's not so leady. So I ended up with this as a lead. And as I let you listen before, that was the lead. So I had spread out the breakdown and the drop. And then after that, all that is left to do is now spreading it as an arrangement. But let me give you a quick listen of how it is sounding today. And then you can understand what it means for me to reach the step just before the arrangement. It's a pretty new track, so might sound different at the end. So let me just play it along and you will hear what it's all about. So that's the lead that I had in the beginning, and then the bass. So that's pretty much where I'm at with this track, but you can see how I flow about producing the music. What I suggest, if you're new to this, finish a lot of tracks. Like, try and reach a point where you finish a track within the week from start to finish, and get into the habit of finishing tracks. It's super important. It's not only helping you advance because you do more of the same stuff and you try to get into a habit of figuring stuff out and learning how to fix stuff, learning how to make stuff. When you do things fast, you will have more time, and you will deal with your shortcomings much better because you will know where they are. Because a lot of the times when you're just starting out, or even first few years, you're taking the time and figuring stuff out, sitting on some sound, maybe a week. Maybe you will work on just the lead for 2-3 weeks, and it will be super important to you. In most cases, I don't want to say all, but in most cases, it turns out that the amount of time that you've invested into the lead or bass or whatever you've invested time in does not make a big impact on the final product. Like, it will be important just for you, and that's very important to understand as early as possible, because if you want to take that time and do that, go ahead, do that. But it's important that you know that it's only for you. Nobody else will care how much time went into making that music. And that's a super important point to know. Also, for me, I like to be as detached as possible from piece of music that I'm working on. And the more time that I spend working on it, I start getting more and more emotionally invested in it. And when you're not emotionally invested in it, it's no problem to just remove a lead. It doesn't work, so kill it. That's it. It makes taking decisions be much more easier when you're doing it like that. And the way that I found to reach that point for me was just to make a lot of tracks, make them as fast as I can. And once you have like a ton of tracks that you've made, the new track that you're doing now is not as important. It does not have the same significance as if you just have like 5 tracks that you completed and then you're working on the 6th. It's super important, right? Because you only have like this many tracks. So I will leave you with that. I hope by hearing me talk about it, then maybe you will have your own version of what I said. And feel free to share, comment and like and subscribe, and listen to my music on Spotify if you're interested. I also have a Facebook page and Instagram page. I try to keep everything as updated as possible. So yeah, I hope you find it interesting. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you around. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in. Hopefully it was helpful for you. So bye bye.